13 innocent civilians are dead in Burundi after ammunition depot explosions rocked the capital Bujumbura, sending shockwaves through homes and hearts across East Africa. This isn't just another tragic accident, it's a wake-up call for every African nation about military infrastructure and civilian safety. What happened in Bujumbura on Tuesday night exposes critical vulnerabilities in how African nations manage military assets in densely populated areas. We're diving deep into the facts, the failures, and what this means for Africa's security future. Because when one African nation suffers, we all feel the impact. The explosions at the ammunition depot in Bujumbura weren't just loud bangs in the night, they were powerful enough to destroy civilian homes and send panic rippling through neighborhoods. 13 people lost their lives, families were torn apart, and hundreds more now live with the trauma of that terrifying Tuesday evening. But here's what the international media won't tell you: this incident highlights a broader pattern across Africa where military installations are positioned dangerously close to civilian populations, often due to colonial-era urban planning that African governments inherited and never properly addressed. Burundi's military infrastructure, like many African nations, bears the scars of its colonial past. The Belgians and Germans who once controlled this land placed military assets based on their strategic needs, not the safety of African communities. 60 years after independence, we're still paying the price for decisions made by foreign powers who never cared about African lives. Like this video help more Africans see this story that mainstream media will bury by tomorrow. The current situation in Bujumbura reveals something deeper than just poor safety protocols. African nations collectively spend over $40 billion annually on defense, yet incidents like this show we're not investing smartly in protecting our own people. When South Africa recently conducted military exercises, they relocated civilians proactively. When Nigeria upgraded their ammunition storage facilities, they moved them away from populated areas. The Burundian government's response has been swift but raises questions. They've launched an investigation, but transparency remains limited. This is exactly the kind of incident that feeds into Western narratives about African governance failures, when the real story is about inherited colonial infrastructure and resource constraints. President Evariste Ndayishimiye now faces a crucial test of leadership. How he handles this tragedy will either strengthen public trust or fuel opposition voices. The military leadership must answer difficult questions about safety protocols and civilian evacuation procedures. But the most important stakeholder here isn't in any government building, it's the ordinary Burundian families who lost loved ones, who saw their homes destroyed, who now question whether their government can protect them from its own military assets. Subscribe for honest, Pan-African analysis you won't find on CNN or BBC. This tragedy connects to broader African security transformation. The East African community has been working toward integrated defense systems, and incidents like this prove why regional coordination matters. When one member nation faces military infrastructure challenges, neighboring countries should step in with expertise and resources. Kenya's experience managing ammunition depot relocations could guide Burundi. Tanzania's civilian safety protocols during military operations offer proven models. Rwanda's post-genocide approach to rebuilding military infrastructure with civilian safety as priority shows what's possible when African solutions address African challenges. Across our continent, from Egypt's advanced military cities to South Africa's safely positioned defense installations, African nations are proving we can balance security needs with civilian protection. The technology exists, the expertise exists within Africa. What we need is the political will and regional cooperation to implement solutions. This Burundi incident should spark a continent-wide review of ammunition storage safety. The African Union's Peace and Security Council should mandate safety audits. We cannot allow colonial-era mistakes to keep killing African civilians in the 21st century. Looking forward, this tragedy must become a turning point for how African militaries protect the people they serve. Burundi can lead by example, relocating dangerous military assets, investing in modern storage facilities, and creating transparent safety protocols that other African nations can adopt. The 13 lives lost in Bujumbura should not be in vain. Their sacrifice can drive the changes that prevent future tragedies across our continent. Every African nation watching this incident should ask, where are ammunition depots located? How close are they to civilian populations? When did we last audit their safety systems? These aren't just Burundian questions, they are African questions that demand African answers. Check out this next video where we explore how African nations are revolutionizing military safety protocols and proving that African solutions work best for African challenges. The future of our continental security depends on learning from incidents like this and building better together. Comment your thoughts on how African nations should handle military infrastructure safety. Your voice matters in shaping our continent's future.